Hey everyone, welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of Python's most powerful and versatile tools, the dictionary. Seriously, whether you're just starting out or you've been coding for a while, really getting a handle on dictionaries is a total game changer. So let's dive right in. All right, let's kick things off with a super common scenario. Imagine you're building a little system to keep track of students. You've got their roll numbers and you've got their names. The whole point is that each roll number is tied to one specific name, right? So, how do you actually represent that connection in your code? Okay, so check this out. On the left, you've got one way to do it, two separate lists. And honestly, it's kind of a pain. To find a student's name, you'd have to find their roll number in the first list, figure out its position, and then use that exact same position to look up the name in the second list. It works, but it's clunky. Now look at the right. Wow. A dictionary just connects them. It's simple, it's clean, and it's exactly what you want for this kind of paired data. And that really sets the stage for why we even need something more than just a simple list. Look, lists are awesome, don't get me wrong. They're fantastic for an ordered line of items, but they kind of fall flat when you've got data that naturally comes in pairs, like a roll number and a name, or a username and a password. And this is exactly where Python gives us this beautiful, elegant solution. It's called a dictionary, and it was literally built from the ground up to handle these kinds of relationships. It's going to make your code way more efficient and a whole lot easier to read. So, how does this magic actually work? Well, it all boils down to one simple but really powerful idea, the key value pair. You know, the best way to think about it is a real physical dictionary. You look up a word, that's your key, and you find its definition. That's the value. It's that simple. In our student example, the roll number is the unique key, and the student's name is the value. You give Python the key, it instantly gives you back the value. Bam, done. Okay, so there are a few core things you gotta know. First, dictionaries are mutable. That's just a fancy word that means you can change them on the fly. Add stuff, delete stuff, you name it. They're also dynamic, meaning they can grow and shrink as you need them to. And here's the big one. Every single key has to be unique. You can't have two roll numbers that are both 100, right? It wouldn't make sense. All right, theory is great, but let's get our hands dirty. Let's actually build one of these things and see how to get data in and out of it. So first things first, we're going to see just how easy it is to whip up your very first dictionary from scratch. Okay, look at the syntax here. It's super straightforward. You use curly braces to start and end it. Then for every piece of data, it's just key, a colon, then the value. So here we've got 100 colon Durga, then a comma, then 200 colon Ravi, and so on. And that's it. You've just created a dictionary. All right, so we've put the data in. How do we get it back out? It's even easier. You just use the name of your dictionary, then square brackets, and pop the key you're looking for right inside. You're basically telling Python, hey, go find me the value that belongs to key 100. And boom, Python just hands you back Durga. It's instant. This is what makes dictionaries so fast and so powerful. It's not searching through a list, it's a direct lookup. Okay, but what if we ask for something that isn't there? For instance, let's try to find the student for roll number 400. We know for a fact that's not in our dictionary. What's Python going to do? And there it is. Your program crashes with a big old key error. Now, this is a super common thing to run into when you're starting out. It's just Python's way of yelling, hey, I looked and that key you asked for doesn't exist. So that's something you've definitely got to watch out for. All right, remember how we said dictionaries are mutable or changeable? Let's see that in action. We're going to walk through how to add new stuff, update what's already there, and get rid of things you don't need anymore. You know, in the real world, data is never set in stone, is it? Things are always changing. So knowing how to keep your dictionary up to date is absolutely crucial for writing useful programs. Okay, so let's start with this simple dictionary right here. We've got two entries, the key 100 points to the value Durga, and the key 200 points to Ravi. Now, what if we want to change something? Let's say we got it wrong, and roll number 100 is actually for a student named Sunny. Well, updating is ridiculously easy. You just access the key like before, but this time you use an equal sign to assign it a new value. Python sees that the key already exists and just swaps out the old value for the new one. And just like that, if you were to look at the dictionary now, Durga is gone, and Sunny is in its place. The old value has been
400,
completely overwritten.
400 rupee.
Okay, but what if you want to get rid of an
Sorry,
entry entirely? Say student 100 leaves the school. For that, we use
where
the del keyword, short for delete,
the
and just tell it which key to remove. And this is important. It doesn't just empty the value, it removes the entire key value pair from the dictionary. And check it out. After running that line of code, our dictionary is now
where
smaller.
keep
The
value
entire record for key
400
100 is just gone.
concentrate.
Poof. Now, this is where it all comes
Dictionary
together.
one
We're going to use everything we've just learned to solve a classic coding
L
challenge, counting how many times
M
each letter shows up in a word. So, before we
L
even touch the keyboard, let's just think through the logic. The
counting
plan is simple.
counting
First, we need an
letters.
empty dictionary
So
to store our
just
letter
add
counts.
like
Then, we'll go through the
create
word
an empty
Mississippi one letter
dictionary
at a
with
time.
code
For each
letter
letter, we'll
count
ask our dictionary, have we seen this letter
is
before? If yes, we grab its current count,
is
add one, and save it back. If it's a brand new letter,
can
we just
to
add it to our dictionary and set
operate
its count to
for
1.
each
That's the whole plan.
element to
And
count
believe it or not, we can do that whole process with this one
okay
beautiful line of code.
okay
This is the
yes
magic right here. We use a special
here
dictionary method called
checking
.get.
and
What it
correct
does is it tries
and
to get the count for the current letter.
that's one
But, and this is the genius part, if
and
that letter isn't in our dictionary yet, instead of crashing with that key error we saw, it
keep
just returns a default value that we
against
give it, in this
one
case, 0. So it either gets the current
and
count or
correct
it gets 0. Then we add 1
and
and save the
correct
new total back. It's
0
so
and
clean.
tick
And after our
that's
code
one
loops through the whole word,
effect
this is what
then
we're left with. A perfect count of every
operation
single letter.
one
We've got one M,
effort
four
like
I's, four S's, and two
operation
P's. I mean,
for
come on, how cool is that?
multiplication
This is a perfect example
operation
of what makes dictionaries so incredibly
for
useful.
the
So think about it. We've used
for
dictionaries for student records
payroll
and for counting
data
letters,
would
but
be
you could use them for
organized with
anything,
the
mapping
dictionaries
usernames to user profiles, product IDs to product
student
details,
records
city names to
username
population data. The possibilities
population
are
data
literally endless. So I'll just
city
leave you with this
and
question. Take a look around at
population
the data
data
in your own world or your own projects. What
organized
connections are just sitting there, waiting for you to map them out